Got a question for you guys. Can you tell me the difference between these two 360 clips? If you can't tell me the difference between these two clips, then there is a major piece to learning how to do a 360 that you don't know yet, and it could really impact how you do 360s. So, if you couldn't guess by the title and what I'm talking about, we're going to be talking about how to do a 360 dunk. So let's get started. Alright, so what's going on, guys? Like I said, with learning how to do a 360, it's been a while since I've done a tutorial on how to do a dunk. I've gotten a lot of questions about how to do a 360 dunk. I didn't know how to make it into a video because at first I thought it was all you do is just jump and spin and you just learn that coordination and that's how you do a 360 dunk. But after going to dunk camp, I learned that there's a whole lot more that comes into play when you're trying to do a 360. And I learned from the GOAT himself, Jordan Kilgannon. So I'm gonna tell you guys what I learned at dunk camp on how to do a 360. Let's get into it. So I don't know if you guys can see my face because the sun's like right here and my hat casts a shadow. But anyway, so with the first clip, the main issue with the first clip, when I went to turn, I'm left, right. So I go left, right, and as I'm spinning, my head is to my shoulder. So it looks like this. Obviously I made it, but I'm on like an 8-foot rim. So when you have your head to your shoulder, it causes you to spin too much. So in the second clip, what I did, and I learned this from Jordan at dunk camp, is as I'm going for the 360, I find a spot over there. I find a spot somewhere towards the middle of the court. And I stare at it as I'm going through the motion, and then boom, finish. So that looks like this. If you overspin in your jump, you're going to, once you get to so as you're spinning, if you overspin, you're not gonna know where you are in the dunk, so it's gonna mess you up when you're trying to make your first 360 or just make a 360 dunk in general if you're overspinning too much. So by looking towards the middle, you're not overspinning and you know where you're at, so you know how to complete your dunk. So in summary, if you overspin, you're not gonna know where you're at when you're going for your 360 dunk, and it's gonna mess you up. But if you find a spot in the middle of the court or on the other side of the court and you look at it as you're spinning, you're gonna have a better feel of your placement in the air and when you're trying to do your dunk, and it's gonna help out a ton. This is part of the reason why I have so much trouble making my 360 East Bay, because I jump and I immediately turn my head to my shoulder. So I overspin, and if you look in the video, I might put a video up so you guys can actually see, as I'm going for that 360 East Bay, because I overspin so much, when I'm going for the finish, I'm actually leaning in the air. It's almost like I lose my balance in the air and I'm leaning, and it doesn't help with my dunk at all. So because I talked to Jordan at dunk camp about it, I've been trying to get better at finding a spot and looking at it as I'm doing my 360 in between the legs. It's hard to get used to, I'm not gonna lie to you. I honestly don't think I've made a dunk yet where I found a spot in the middle of the court and did a 360. I don't think I've made one of those yet. It's really hard to get used to. I really learned how to do a 360 with my head to my shoulder, and I just kept doing it, and I got better at 360s. I got more consistent with 360s. That's just how I do a 360 now. So for me to try and change it up even in the slightest, because you would think just finding a spot in the middle of the court isn't that big of a change, but it can affect your whole jump and approach, dunk, all of that. It can affect it so much, and it affects it for me. So I wanted to give this tip to you guys on how to do a 360 because I know it'll help out a lot. It's helped me out when I practice on the low rims of knowing where I'm at. I have gotten close to making the 360 East Bay. I'm sorry, I keep looking everywhere. There's so much going on. I've gotten close to making the 360 East Bay, doing it how Jordan taught me. So that's as far as the spinning goes. So the only other tip that I have for you guys on how to do a 360 is your approach. So I usually do my 360s coming at a little bit of an angle. I come in at about an angle right here, and then, go into my 360. What I want you guys to do to practice doing 360s obviously get you a low rim, okay? But I don't want you to come at the angle that I'm coming at. I want you to come a little bit closer to the baseline. So more like right here. And then work on your approach like that. How I want you guys to practice technique is if you can get a low rim like this, if you have a low rim available to where you can get your wrist above the rim, or at least close, it really helps the technique for any dunk. I think I mentioned it in all my videos. But if you have a low rim, practice doing this. Like the halfway point of your 360, which for me is about right here, and just practice turning around. Just like that. So go. So practice it until you get used to that, and then add a step into it, so it'll be like this. Okay. Then you rep that out. And once you rep that out, that's when you can add full approaches, of course on the lower rim. And as you get more used to the full approach, raise the rim. Now, I didn't do any of this when I learned how to do a 360. I kind of just forced myself to learn by a bunch of misses, but that's because I didn't have any of this information. I didn't know about not turning your head to your shoulder and finding a spot. I didn't know about practicing on a low rim like this. Also, I don't know if you can hear me because it's windy, but I'm trying my best here. I didn't know all of that stuff, so that's why I never did it, learning how to do a 360. But I'm hoping by dropping this video, you guys can learn these tips and learn how to do a 360 yourself. So as for the video, that's basically it. I hope what I said in this video you guys understood well. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And if you want another explanation on how to do a 360 or just how to do a dunk in general, go check out my boy Connor. We went to dunk camp together. He started making videos on how to do technique for a bunch of different dunks, and he has really good information. So if my explanation wasn't that good for you, go check out his stuff. His links will be in the description. I also probably showed it on the screen. But like I said, that's basically the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, turn on the bell so you guys know when I upload again. And I'll see you guys in the next video.